The beginning of the end. A story of love, loss, and $10 million. My name is Nathan. If you had told me 5 years ago that the woman I loved would walk out on me the moment she got rich, I would have laughed. Not Sophia. Not the woman I married. But hindsight has a way of sharpening the dull edges we overlook when we're in love. I come from a small, working-class farm town, a place where the sun rises early, and the chores wait for no one. My parents were plain-spoken, kind, and hard-working people who believed in honest labor and earned respect. Our house was modest, our meals simple, but every bite was a reminder that we had earned it. My father taught me the rhythms of the land, the quiet wisdom in keeping your word, and the sacredness of family. We didn't have much, but we had everything we needed. I carried those values with me like armor, until I met Sophia. Sophia was a different world. She wasn't like the girls I grew up with. She had polish, ambition, an air of someone who expected more from life than a good harvest or a steady paycheck. The first time I saw her, she was behind the counter of a dusty little bookstore, flipping through a business magazine with an expression that said she didn't belong there. And maybe she didn't. But that contrast, that fire, I was drawn to it like a moth. Talk. Then we kept talking. Before long we were inseparable. She liked my simplicity. Said it grounded her. I liked her hunger for more. It made me feel like I could want more too. We were opposites, but I thought we balanced each other. We got engaged within a year. Not because I was in a rush, but because she wanted a future with traction. My parents, generous to a fault, helped us buy a small apartment in the city. I still remember the day we walked in. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble countertops, a kitchen she would barely ever use. It was Sophia's dream, and so it became mine. I found work in construction. Long hours, dirt under the nails, steady pay. Sophia bounced between jobs, quitting whenever things didn't go her way. I wasn't meant for this, she'd say. I deserve better. I didn't argue. I just worked harder. The cracks started small. She didn't like visiting my family. It smells like manure, she'd say. I didn't marry your farm, I married you. She thought it was a joke. Laughed too. What else was I supposed to do? She mocked my work, my calloused hands, the grease on my clothes. You're tracking dirt on the couch, she'd scold when I got home. I started showering before I even said hello. Still, I believed that love was compromise. That it was work. My father had once told me, love isn't a feeling, it's respect. It's staying when things get hard. And I believed that. But Sophia didn't. She wanted faster, bigger, easier. One evening, as we looked out at the city skyline from our apartment, she crossed her arms and said, "Don't you ever want something different, Nathan?" I told her I did. That the hard work would pay off. That we could build something lasting. She didn't want to build. She wanted to arrive. Then came the inheritance. Her uncle, a man she hadn't seen in years, died suddenly. Left her $10 million. That night everything changed. Her eyes lit up in a way I hadn't seen in months. But not for me. For the promise of luxury, status, escape. Within a week, she had met with lawyers. Within 2, she had packed a bag. "I'm done, Nathan," she said, standing by the door in designer heels she hadn't worn in years. "I've outgrown this life." No tearful goodbye. No second thoughts. Just gone. She thought she was upgrading. On social media, she was suddenly everywhere. Private jets, luxury spas, rooftop parties with strangers whose names I'll never know. She never mentioned me. Not once. It was as if I'd been scrubbed from her story. But here's the thing about money. Especially money that falls into the lap of someone who never had to earn it. It runs out. Rest. The first crack came through a mutual friend. A man named Dan called me late one evening. "Hey Nathan." We met once or twice. I was at a few of those parties with Sophia. Look man, no drama, but... Does she have money? Like real money? Pause. Why do you ask? She's been borrowing a lot. Skipping tabs. Avoiding calls. It's getting weird. I nearly laughed. Sophia had no concept of money. She thought 10 million meant a lifetime of luxury. But she didn't invest it. She didn't save. She spent like the party would never end. And then came her call. I was sitting on the porch with a cold beer, the stars overhead like little truths, when my phone buzzed. Her name lit up on the screen. I didn't answer. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice, once so confident, was now shaky. "Hey, Nate. I know it's been a while. Just wanted to check in. See how you're doing. Maybe we could talk." She was reaching out not because she missed me but because she was slipping. The party was ending, and she realized she burned the only bridge that truly mattered. I didn't call back, because sometimes the best thing you can give someone who took everything from you is silence.